Hello guys, welcome back to A Page in the Chapter. Today we are book shopping. So I'm in New York. That is New York up there. You can't see it, but it's there, I promise. So I may seem chill and nice and like I enjoy a lot of book shopping in London, but secretly I am a very, very jealous person, and I have been in my little English hovel moaning about how everyone in the US gets to go and do these stunning Barnes & Noble book hauls. Everybody in all of their reading vlogs is going to Barnes & Noble and they're showing all these stunning editions of books, and all the books are hardback and there's like a proper romance section. And we just don't have that in the UK. The only bookstore in the UK that has a dedicated romance section is Foyles, and that is a very long way out of my way. But today I get to go to a Barnes & Noble, and I'm going to bring you guys with me. So I'm hoping we'll be able to get to Barnes & Noble today. We do have a very busy list of things to do today, but Barnes & Noble will be accomplished at some point this trip. So I'm starting this vlog now. Hopefully I will still be in the same outfit when we get to it, but who knows. So if you guys like this video and you would like to see more from me, then do please feel free to hit that big red subscribe button down below and stay tuned for future content. I upload every single Wednesday and occasionally on a Sunday. Also feel free to check me out on Instagram and Twitter at Page and Chapter to see the book hauls in real time, so you don't have to wait for these types of videos. And so let's go explore the bookshops in New York. Okay, just in the YA section, damage has been done. I've yet to find the romance or the adult section, but we're gonna go look for that now. Hello friends, I am back in England and jet lagged to fuck. So let's talk about the books that I purchased whilst I was in New York City. I was so impressed by the selection of books, particularly the romance books. Like, we just don't have that in the UK. I think it was very handy being in New York over Valentine's Day because it did mean that so many of the tables were romance centered. Also, can't believe how much you guys in the USA celebrate Valentine's Day. Like, when you walk in to like buildings, like random people will say, oh, happy Valentine's Day. That doesn't happen in the UK. The only person wishing you Valentine's Day in the UK is your partner or your mother. It's not a celebration that we really do here, and I was very shocked to find that people in the US were actually like celebrating it and taking it seriously. But very fun. But I just was really, really impressed by the book shopping that I was able to do in the US. In the UK, the romance book selection is mostly big like TikTok books with the really fluffy covers, and yes, Barnes & Noble had a whole shelf dedicated to cutesy cartoon covers, but they also had 2 shelves dedicated to the darker stuff. And then the Barnes & Noble on 5th Avenue also broke down its romance section into historical romance sections, paranormal romance sections, like thriller romance sections. Like, it was all done so well, and it was none of this just going through A to Z fiction trying desperately to find the romance books that you want, like you have to do here. It was so easy to find romance, and I did some damage. I purchased 8 books in a week. So my physical TBR tracker has died and is very angry at me, but I will now share with you the 8 books that I purchased whilst I was in New York City. So the first book that I purchased was on a table that I couldn't resist, because it was a table dedicated to books set in New York City and Manhattan, which I just felt was such a smart idea, because they clearly know that it's a tourist hotspot, and I am a sucker for books set in places, and I couldn't leave without a book set in New York City. So I picked up Made in Manhattan by Lauren Lane. This was kind of one of the few like fluffy kind of romancy books they had. They also had Anna Takes Manhattan, which I believe I showed you in the video, but that one just didn't speak to me too much. But this one was just a nice cover. I enjoy the aesthetic of the book, and I like the idea of the story, because this is marketed as a reverse My Fair Lady for the modern era, and that has me sold. We follow Violet Townsend as she is raised in the privileged Upper East Side of Manhattan, very Gossip Girl-esque. She takes on Kane Stone and tries to teach him how to be a member of this upper class elite, and I don't believe he is too interested in that. It sounded, of all of the books on this list, like one that I would genuinely really enjoy. As I said, loved the cover. I feel like this is one that I'm going to be proud to have on my shelves and be like, I like this book, and it's set in Manhattan, and I picked it up in Manhattan, and that was just why I wanted this one, really. I can't say that if I was looking in the UK this would be one that I would necessarily pick up, but I am really happy to own this, and I do think that I'm really going to enjoy it. This list is in a very random order. I just have a stack of books from how I pulled them out of the suitcase, and that's how I'm going through them. So I then picked up Stalking Jack the Ripper by Kerri Maniscalco. This was potentially not my brightest idea, because there are other books in this series and UK paperbacks don't look or feel like this, so if I want to buy the rest in the series they won't be matching. So maybe Book Depository can help me out, because they do sometimes have the US paperbacks. But I've really enjoyed what I have read from Kerri Maniscalco. I've heard really good things about this series, and I'm just really intrigued by it. It seems like a great premise. I know Kerri Maniscalco is a great writer, so why not pick it up? So this book follows our main character, who is in love with Jack the Ripper, essentially, and it is her story. The blurb really doesn't give too much away. I love going into books without really knowing too much, and this is like a whole series following different classic villains, I guess you could say. There is another book called Hunting Prince Dracula, like that kind of thing. It's just a whole series of like classic villains and bold female characters. I'm assuming it sounds really good. As I said, I've heard really good things about this series on BookTube, and I felt like, why not give it a try? I've then been interested in this book for a little while, and seeing it on one of the Valentine's Day tables felt like a perfectly good time to pick it up, and that is Love in the Time of Serial Killers by Alicia Thompson. This follows our main character, Phoebe Walsh, who is a PhD student with a big obsession with true crime, like the rest of us, and she convinces herself that her next door neighbour is a serial killer. It's blurbed by Ali Hazelwood, it has a PhD candidate setting, it's marketed as a rom-com. I love the theming of this book. I do feel like it would probably be a good Halloween read, but do I think I'm gonna wait until October? Probably not. I really do want to get to this, and I feel like this could be a story where I don't really know where it's gonna go. Like, the serial killer element to this, or supposed serial killer element to this, could definitely cause some plot points and conflicts that I'm not used to seeing, and I just felt like this was a really solid option. This next book was one that I had on my list because I knew I would be able to buy it whilst I was there, and I wouldn't be able to find it anywhere here. Chandler Ainsley has spoken a lot about this book, and I really wanted to pick it up, and that is Culty by Mariana Zapata. I've heard good things about this author in general, and this is a sports romance, and Charna Ainsley has rated it really highly, so I thought why not check it out. I have read it. I started reading it the minute that I bought it essentially, and I've given this book 2.5 stars. I did not enjoy this or really see the hype about it, but I do still want to check out other books from this author, and I am happy still to own this book because it's just the one that I wanted most. I wanted this book and a book by this author, or I was also interested in buying a book from Penelope Douglas because they are over £10 to buy on Amazon in this country. So one of these two authors I wanted to buy, so I can't really complain. Even though this book wasn't my favourite, I feel like I would still enjoy this author's other books. I didn't tell you what this was about. This is a sports football romance following our main character Sal, and she plays football or soccer for like the Women's Power League in the US, and her idol has always been Culty, who is one of like the best male football players of all time. I really did just nearly say soccer then. And he then becomes her like assistant coach of her team, and it follows them having this kind of animosity to friends to lovers relationship, and it was okay. It was fun. I enjoyed the concept, and that's as much as I will say. This next one is one that I needed to pick up in the US, and I will explain why in a moment, and that is They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. I have been wanting to read this book for a really long time, but I can't stand the UK cover. I will put a picture of the UK cover right here. I hate it, and I refused to buy it when I knew that this cover existed, and I was really hoping that somewhere, somehow in the UK, I would find this cover. And then I found out I was going on this trip and decided when I saw it that I was going to pick up the US cover whilst I was in the US, and I could. So I've heard beautiful things about this book. I have really been wanting a book that will make me feel some kind of emotion, that will make me cry, kind of like a Under the Whispering Door kind of cry. Like, I don't want to read A Little Life and be like sobbing because everything sucks. I wanted like a hopeful, heartwarming kind of cry. Again, something very TJ Klune or Frederick Buckman-esque, and maybe this could be that, I don't know, but I do feel like it will make me cry, and thus I wanted to pick it up. Okay, we're getting there guys, down to the last 3 books. So this next book is one that my boyfriend picked out for me, and since he did the lovely job of filming all of the clips that you've just watched, I figured I could throw him a bone and pick up the book that he suggested to me. It sounds like something I would enjoy. It's by an author that I've liked before, but it wasn't really the kind of book that I was going to the US to buy, but that is Fix Her Up by Tessa Bailey. This is a fake dating romance, which we all know that I love. I've enjoyed Tessa Bailey's books before. It does sound like something I would enjoy. I just feel like I could buy this in the UK, but then I could really buy some of these other books in the UK, so I guess it's fine. So this follows our main character, and she's like, I think she's a clown or like a children's entertainer. And then there is Travis Ford, who used to be a Major League Baseball player, but an injury forced him to retire, and now he does like home renovations. And it follows these two as they enter into like a fake dating sort of situation. I'm really not sure how I'm gonna feel about it. There's just something that makes me feel a little bit iffy about this book, but I will give it a go. As I said, there's no real reason why I shouldn't like it. I'm just nervous about this one. Okay, please don't make fun of me for this next one. It's a little bit embarrassing. It's White Hot Kiss by Jennifer L. Armentrout. You can't really find these books in stores in the UK. Like, I would have to order it online, which would be perfectly fine. But I felt like in the interest of being excited that I'd seen a Jennifer L. Armentrout book on the shelves that wasn't the big one, the big popular like adult series that the UK stores do sell now because we've caught on to the fact it's popular. I can't remember what it's called, but to see some of her like older stuff on shelves was very exciting, and so I thought I would pick this up. I added a load of Jennifer L. Armentrout books to my want to read list after I read Obsidian for Goodreads Recommends But Do I, and so when I saw this, it seemed like a perfect opportunity to pick it up. Again, I'm really hoping that Book Depository would have the US paperback version for the rest of the series should I wish to continue. So this follows Layla, and she is half demon, half gargoyle, and she has a crush on this guy who will pay her absolutely no attention and treats her like a little sister. Enter Wrath, a demon who claims to know her deepest and darkest secrets, but trusting Wrath could cast her as a traitor to her whole family and her whole kind. So kind of difficult situation for Layla here, but Jennifer Armentrout does paranormal romance really, really well, and I'm ready to go on a Jennifer L. Armentrout binge. Like, her whole backlist, catching up on the big series, which is name I've forgotten, but I'm halfway through, catching up on that, and just having a bit of a Jennifer Armentrout deep dive, because that Goodreads recommends video just showed me how much I will enjoy all of her YA as well as her adult fiction, and I am so ready for it. And then the final book I had to go on a little bit of a hunt for. I saw the sequels to this book in the Union Square Barnes & Noble, but I couldn't find this book, so I went on a tiny bit of a hunt for the first book in this series, and that is Hooked by Emily McIntyre, a Never After novel. I believe like this is a smutty Captain Hook from Peter Pan retelling. I'm hoping it's smutty. If not, it will just be romance, and I'm okay with that. It was in the adult section though, and not the YA. I've also just seen it has a playlist at the front, and I don't know if anyone knows this about me, but books with playlists at the front are like my favorite thing in the entire world. I love when it happens. It just sets the vibe. So this follows our main character Hook, also known as James, and to get back at his rival Peter, he decides to start dating his like 20-something daughter Wendy to try and get back at him. But Wendy hates her father and is trying to get back at her father as well, and so these two enter into some kind of deal or relationship to try and get back at Peter. But then, you know, they kind of start to fall for each other, and this one's just, I don't know, I'm really taken by it, and I haven't ever seen this or heard of this book before. Maybe it's really popular, I don't know, but I've just never heard of it. I'm really excited to own this, and I just really need the UK to step up its romance book game. So here's my little stack, or my not so little stack. I definitely could have done more damage, but there was only a certain amount of kilos I could bring back. I enjoyed myself immensely. Oh, I did also get myself a Barnes & Noble Union Square tote bag because I needed something to carry the books in, and that was really cute and a like piece of memorabilia, so I thought I would pick that up. And so yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was kind of short and sweet, and I just really wanted something on my channel to like remember New York by, and the book shopping in New York, it was what I was most excited to do going to New York. But I had a really good time. The bookstores are just incredible. I don't know how I'm supposed to go back to my normal existence without such a big and well stocked and diverse romance section. If anyone knows of any places in the UK that I can shop at with big romance sections other than Foyles, then do let me know, and I can maybe do some UK traveling for bookstore videos, I don't know. But yeah, I do hope that you enjoyed. I hope if you did enjoy it, then do please feel free to hit that big red subscribe button down below and stay tuned for future content. Also feel free to check me out on Instagram and Twitter at Page in Chapter to see what I'm reading and how I'm reviewing it in real time. I hope you guys are having a fantastic week, you're enjoying everything you are reading, and there are no reading slumps in your future. And I will see you for my next video. Bye guys.